Okay, hello, welcome. Trisha here. Let's get into it. Start strong. We're going to start off here on the floor to get things mobilized and ready for our workout. So let's begin. You don't need any props for this. We're just going to come down into the floor and we're going to start cross-legged seat. Take a moment to just land here on the floor because maybe it's the first time today you're down here on the floor. Okay, and then as you lean forward like I am here, a little shift, a little sway, feel the hips start to stretch. And then we're going to simply lean back into our hands, switch your feet, and same thing as you come forward, just a little sway. It's lingering here a little longer on the first couple. And then we're just going to switch over and over again. So we're going to lean back and forward, easing into the body. Couple of breaths to feel your arrival. Okay. Now, let's come on out of that, right on over into hands and knees, over onto tabletop position. Let's begin to move through those shoulders, big circles, shrugs. Invite as much movement into this here as you can. And then from there, with the toes tucked, let's push back into a squat back here. Nice deep squat, just dropping down, everything low. And then right on back out, let's find bear crawl position, which means from table, we're gonna push the floor away and hover. So the knees have lifted, really push the floor away. So shoulders are broad on your back. Finding the breath towards the belly, and then just lowering that back down. Let's rise here to the knees, so coming on up, and then we're just gonna hover back and come back forward. So right back to bear crawl. So we're just gonna flow through that a couple of times, again, just as our warm up. Bear crawl position, holding that static, and then right back up into some core and quad. All right, back one more time here through bear, push away, shoulders, and touching back in, rising here. Nice long spine, we're hovering and pulling it back in. Okay, let's go ahead and rise. Bring yourself on up, shake that out. And then we're gonna get right into our hinge pattern today. I have a newer move for you. You're gonna want something to sit on. It can be a chair, a bench, a box, anything that you can sit on here. Then of course we'll get into it with our weights. So you're gonna grab a weight or two, and we're going to take the feet apart a little bit. You'll hold your weight with both hands, however makes sense for you. And then we're just going to do a seated hinge. So kind of make sure that you're at the edge of your seat. You don't actually want like a lot of the back of the leg on the seat here. Okay, so right up at the edge, nice and tall here. Take a moment, feel the floor beneath your feet. We still want to ground into them. And then with that, we are going to hinge through and come right back up. Yes? So the shoulders are back. Again, spine is long. We keep all of that as you hinge and you come back up. Okay? So we really get to dial in and feel that hinge. I love this for that reason. Now, you don't have to get your weight to the floor. It may or may not come that far. Be sure on the way up that you are pushing through the feet. Once you're here, push through the feet to come up. Connected through your core, of course. Nice and controlled. Make sure we're breathing. We're going to get 3 more here. And 1 more. Engaging through the glutes, even as we're seated. Okay, fantastic. Let's set that aside for a moment because we'll be doing 2 more sets of those. Come on up and shake it out. Okay, and then let's pair that with upper body. All right, let's check in with our push-ups, especially since we have a bench nearby. Of course, you can come to the floor and work your plank and your push-ups, otherwise incline, okay? So let's come in to find that. Find your plank on the mat or incline. Take a moment, sink into your shoulders, and then push away, noting that that's our starting position. That's where we want to be locked in at, all right? And let's go through 5 of these as a first warm-up set. See if you've got 3 to 5 here. All right, let's do it. Chest all the way in, push away. Yes, I'm gonna get 5 here. There we go. Okay, talking about these push-ups, let's refresh a little bit. Remember, lots of ways to have the arms. My preference is for a 45-degree angle, so I'm not like way out here, but I'm also not super tucked in like our chaturanga. So a little bit to the sides and back is just a sweet spot, I find. All right, shake that off. We're coming back in for our seated hinge, our seated deadlift. Second time through. We're doing 10 of these. Adjust your weights as needed. You might be able to pair 2 dumbbells together to get a little bit more weight in this if you want. All right, again, really tall. Still very engaging, just because we're seated, right? Like that doesn't make it any less involved, any less engaging. All right, nice and tall. Here we go, hinging. Push through the feet, right back up. Keep those shoulders back. Breathing through the nose. Here we go, we're halfway. We're gonna get 5 more. Nice and controlled, nothing fast about this. Couple more. There we go. Push away, come on up. Love that. It's a little different than the standing version. It's just always nice to have that experience and kind of change things up, even within the same move. All right, we're coming back in. More push-up work, incline or on the mat. Now, let's talk about if we're doing this on the floor. Say you don't have a bench or something to accommodate incline, but you're not quite there for the push-up all the way on the floor, right? That's a big jump. Then we work the eccentric phase, meaning we're just gonna go down and not worry about the getting up part, okay? All right, so set up if you're doing incline or the eccentric phase or floor phase. I will show that on this second set, all right? All right, let's do it. We're looking for 3 to 5. Eccentric phase, slow as you can, nice and controlled. Let's check in with those shoulders. And here we go. Nice and slow if you're doing eccentric with me. And then you would reset. All right. Remember, we're working up to 5. If you're on that incline, all the same rules apply. All right, here we go. Control, control, control. Yes. Let's come on up. Doesn't have to be fancy, complicated, intricate to be good quality strength work. Prime example here with our hinge paired with a push-up. All right, catch your breath, recover, especially if you did those eccentric phases, just because it's the down portion only. It's hard. Their work. We're coming back in for this third set here. Remember, you want the feet pretty wide apart here, right up at the edge of your seat. All right, let's get into it here. Shoulders are back. Again, how you hold the weight isn't so important, just so long as it feels okay to you, comfortable to you. Let's do it. We're going back in for 10. What's nice about these too is you can go pretty heavy on these. So if you have the weight to add, do it. It's a nice way to get acquainted with a heavier weight, in fact, maybe before you go to a standing version. We got a few more here. 3 more. Squeezing through the glutes, starting to feel it. Okay, last one. There we go. Woohoo! All right, take a moment. Catch your breath. There's no rush because we're focused in on our foundational strength, right? We're not trying to make it a circuit, a cardio blast. All right, let's get into our final set, push-up variation, be it incline or eccentric phase. Let's do it. I say 3 to 5, but let's also remember that when it comes to push-ups, form really is important. And so we're not just trying to get to an arbitrary number if we've lost the form, okay? So keep that in mind, like yes, 3 to 5, but if your form breaks down before that, well then adjust, right? Either higher incline or yeah, let's do it. If you've got more than 5 in the tank, add it on there. Let's get to it. Here we go. Push away. Here we are. Okay. When we're doing that incline, it's not to make it so easy that we could do a million, right? Again, it's all about just the right amount, the dose. Still challenging, but doable. Okay, there we go. Little combo with the bench. Love that. We've got our hinge. We've got our push-ups in. Shake it out. We're moving right along. Let's get into a squat pattern here today. With or without weights, squat pattern. Standard squat. Take a wide stance. Get low in your seat. As you come up, this variation is going to be a lateral kick. Yes? So you have your squat. You'll come up to lateral kick. Shifting your weight, right? So we've got that little bit of balance there. Maybe give that a go. Get your brain, set right for it, that's happening. Should feel just those outer hip muscles, glutes right there in that. Yes? And then in the middle, it's separated by a squat. With or without your weights, let's get into it. Little 3-part squat here. We're going to get 8 on this first set. All right? Here we go. We squat. We go to the side. And that's 1. Okay, here we go. You got it. And 3. And 4. This isn't real high. This is just straight to the side. Controlled. Great, great, great. Let's get 1 more on here. Get 1 more. Almost pausing a moment in that balance. Yes. Okay, there you go. Catch your breath. A couple of breaths to smooth it all out. That's our squat. Let's pair that, of course, with some pulling action. We want to make sure we just fill those main buckets of movement. Yeah? Okay, so we're going to get ourselves a bent over row. Let's do single arm row today. And we're going to do this from a lunge position. So with that, it just means that you'll find yourself a lunge and you'll bring your chest forward a little bit so that arm hangs straight down. Okay? Make sure that we're long in the spine, that we're not kind of just, hunched over there. We're connected to core. In fact, there's quite a bit of just kind of in system engagement here. I do have this other hand kind of at my knee, and then my arm hangs plumb. Yes? Here we go. We're going to row that back and come out. Lead with that elbow. The shoulder does stay down. We've got one more here for 8. There you go. Come on up. Yes. You might feel that in the legs. Lunge position. Again, just some variations of the moves that we're familiar with to provide a little dash of that novelty yet. Okay, other side. We've got our lunge happening here. Hinged forward slightly over the front leg. Arm hangs straight. Okay, let's do it. Pull it back. Again, elbow. Think about that elbow being what pulls you back. There we go. Let's get one more here. There you go. Come out of that, shake it out of the legs. Solid. That's our combo here for our squat and our pull. All right, back into it. Same. We're going to get 8 on our squat to lateral lift. Let's do it. Coming right on in. Nice deep squat as low as you can get here. Control, control. There it is. Going slow on purpose, especially this part right here. Good, good. Let's do 4 more. Up nice and tall. Last one right here. There it is. A little squat to add it on. There we go. All right. Woo! Let's get ready for our second set of our row. Right back at it. We're getting 3 sets of each today. Make any adjustments you need. That row. Big muscles, we're working on the back with that. So we can pull quite a bit of weight with that. So permission, encouragement to go up if you've got the weight. All right, back into it here. Back into my lunge. Let's go for 8. And we're off. Elbow leads. Elbow pulls it back, squeezing under that arm. Pausing there even just a second. Push through that front foot. There it is. Let's come up right into the second side of the second set. Okay, I'm in my lunge. Again, everything nice and long from crown of head to the back heel. And we're off. Pull it back. Two more. Breathe. And there you go. All right. Second set in the bank. Get a little stroll around, catch your breath. So we can be fresh and energized for this final set. All right. Third set, option here to take this up just a smidge. One little change. And all of that is we're going to do a pause, a pulse. So we'll go down and up, right? So we've done, it's a 1.5, going all the way down, pop halfway up, back down and up. And then we would go into that, okay? Now, you are welcome to stay with the regular version, okay? If this is spicy enough for you, if this is a challenge, great. You've got your challenge. That's all you need. All right. Here we go. With or without the 1.5 squat. Let's do it. And up to each side. There's one. And up. Control. Take all that time. Little balance. Good. And we go. Nice and tall at the top. Here's number 4. Here's halfway. Steady. Steady. Okay. And up. Here's number 6. Make sure you're breathing. No rush, no rush. Last 2. And last 1. Let's get it as low as you can go. Lateral kick out. There it is. All right, nice. Breathe. Smooth things out. We're coming in for our final set here of our row. Third set. Let's do it. Coming into our lunge. Nice wide stance here. Pitched forward slightly. Let that arm hang. 8. Let's go. Push through that front foot. Mound of the big toe. Halfway right here, we've got 4 more. 3 more. Last 2. And last 1. There you go. All right, right into this other side here. Find your lunge. Get over that front foot, arm hangs, and we go. Last 2. We're right there. Ooh, yes, squeeze it back. And that is that. It doesn't take a million different moves. We've essentially done 4 moves here. 3 sets of each, right? And we cover just the fullness of the body with that squat, hinge, push, pull. Okay, let's come down into the mat. Low lunge now for our half kneeling windmill. So our front leg is a little bit off to the corner. That's your right leg. And then we're going to take the right arm up into the air, make a fist, and we're facing forward as you come down. We rotate open to touch the floor, and we come back up. Nice and controlled here. Sneaky core, also some mobility. Keep that arm really long, reaching. This next one, as you come down to touch the floor, consider if you have the ability to bend the elbow and get lower. Maybe you don't, but maybe you do. One more time. Yes. Good. Let's switch the legs out on this first round, right? Just body weight, leg, and same arm is up here. And we go down, we rotate, rotate, control the descent, right? No falling down into it. Now these last 2, if you've got the room, we're gonna see about bending the elbow and coming down more. Breathing. Feels good to twist. Okay, yes. Good. Come down out of that. All right. We're going to come right back into another set of that with the option to add weight to it. Doesn't have to be super heavy weight, a light weight to give us a little bit of engagement overhead through the arm. All right, back in for that first side. The weight is in, same arm as leg that's in the front here. So I have this weight overhead. Now I really want to control this. Definitely makes it different. Yes. Shoulder stability. Arm overhead. Seeing if I can drop in with the elbow on those last two. Okay, let's come down. We're switching out the sides. Here we go. Arm is up, reaching the whole time. Still controlling the descent, right? So we've got that oblique sling there. Oh, elbow if you got it. Last one here. Oh, yes. Woo! Big difference in that with weight to no weight. All right, come on out of that all the way down into the floor. We're going to use a lighter weight here for this last move. So a bit of mobility and stretch paired with our core and strength. So feet are planted. This is the move here. Make sure you can see. I have the weight. I'm holding it by its ends here. And I'm going to take that overhead, however far, and then I'm going to pull back straight up, okay? So again, it doesn't have to be real heavy. Arms are long lever. So going to be a challenge to get that back there, however far. When you're doing this, it's a shoulder pullover, by the way. Keep the ribs down. So when we're doing this move, just when we go over, like let's not like pop the ribs, right, as for the range of motion. So ribs stay down, and that way the range of motion movement comes truly from the shoulders, right, rather than borrowing. Okay. Now, you can do this with the feet down or hover at 90 degrees here, okay? And then we have a little bit more involvement, obviously. So feet down or hover. Lat pull over. Let's go. Ooh, it feels nice on the shoulders though. And the upper back grounding into the floor is nice. Keep those arms nice and long. And we've got one more right here. Yes, pull it back in. Okay, lower the feet, lower your arms and the weight. Go ahead, hug the knees in. Maybe lift the head, shoulders, round into that. Really nice finish here, taking the feet wide and then just allowing them to fall side to side. Great. Let's bring the soles of the feet together in a butterfly shape. Arms are up and you're just slowly going to circle out your wrists. Really nice, thorough practice here today. Okay, we'll rise. Let's bring it on up. Ready for the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining Start Strong.